Hello, this is Carlos and this is my status report for week number 6. So during this week I was able to work for around 10 hours in the project, and during this week the main accomplishment have been the implementation of JSON Web Tokens in different endpoints in the Web API, and also research on how to use them properly and integrate them in the Web API layer, as well as the chance I may have of extending what I already have to a different framework that implements identity and some other newer and more complex standards and frameworks like identity server. I will say also to add different contracts which are used by the different endpoints and clean up some warnings that I had in the different layers. Next week I will be finishing up the endpoints review for the controller, the custom controller I'm using for that purpose, and I will be also working some role-based access for those endpoints. I will also be researching and working on the claims, and if possible I will be also working in the admin dashboard. Regarding the question and blockers, it's been a little complicated to implement the JSON Web Tokens because I'm using Netcore 10, and at some point some of the changes are regarding open, what is the name of this? The current standard regarding user identity, I don't remember the name right now, introduced some breaking changes in the latest versions of Netcore, so some of the documentation was a little outdated and the information in the internet. But other than that little problem, everything went smoothly. So, as I said before, I've been working a lot in the documentation. You can take a look here to the different files that were changed or added. I still need to clean up a lot of that and review them. And regarding the integration of the endpoints that I already had, which are part of the Identity API package and the Netcore framework, this image shows how they can be integrated together in the same project. More on that later. Here you can see the different contracts I had to make for the different requests and responses. This is the file with the main changes, the different endpoints, some of them already reviewed, like this with the check mark, around 5 of them, and the others I still need to test them. I also included these files to the project, which are used for testing quickly the different endpoints. when in the development environment. I also included this token service, which is used with JSON Web Tokens. Also in the configuration file, the startup file, you can see the different elements I included for making the web tokens and the documentation work properly. Now we're going to run the project. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so now the project is running. We already have these endpoints that we already know. I've also included this little explanation for these endpoints and why we may need them. They're good for authentication and authorization using cookies, but for other than that, these kind of tokens are not the best option. They're also called opaque tokens. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it that correct. This is how you spell it. They're a deprecated token version from this standard, which I think is OAuth 2.0 or 2.1. I need to fix this typo. So as we already know, these endpoints are working, though I still need to test some of these others. And during this week, I was able to include all these different endpoints, and I've already tested these endpoints with the check mark. I also have the authorization required for testing the different endpoints that need authorization. So let's try out with an email. Let's try something like johndoe@gmail.com. We're going to use a random pass 1, 2, 3. We're going to copy this for later. And as you can see, the user was registered successfully, and also we have the different responses in the case something goes wrong. I also included in the documentation and for the different responses and requests the description for them. So registering is public, so it can be done by anonymous users. But that's something that does not work the same for endpoints that require authentication or authorization, like in this case for the logout endpoint. So now let's try to log in to this endpoint, and we're going to get an email not confirmed, which is this other endpoint. Now I'm not going to use it because I need the email service. That's something we still don't have. I'm able though to get the user ID and the token for the email and just copy and paste it here and confirm the email, but I'm not going to do it because that's going to take some time So for testing the login, I'm going to use the default user I set during the runtime of the project. Let's take a look to the password I need for that. Now we're going to log in, and this is the token I get for it from JSON Web Tokens. I need it for the authorization for the headers, but let's see what happens if I try to log out without it. As you can see, I'm not authorized to that. So I'm going to paste it here. Now I'm authorized. As you can see, the locker has changed, and now we'll be able to log out. I got to the token service. Now I'm going to press F5, and the user was logged out correctly for that single token for this endpoint. I can also log out for multiple devices. Let's try it again. We got a different token. We're going to copy it. Let's try to log out without it. We are not authorized. We're going to paste a new one, and we're going to try to log out from all devices successfully. That's something I would use in the case of being logged in a mobile device, or in a web application. I have these other endpoints. I still need to work on them, add the descriptions, add the different contracts I will need. And that's it for this week. Thank you for watching.